Ms. Andreasen, you have the floor.
Thank you, Chair. I sit in the SURE committee, and I think I will repeat what I have been saying there. We cannot have a measure of how efficiently we spend the funds, except for the Court of Auditors report. And even in this case, this report is being ignored. We cannot start talking or discussing about value added because we have no measure of how the funds have been used in the past. If we look at the Court of Auditors report, the errors that they report do not encourage further investment in the main policy areas. We are lowering in the level of demand and quality when we want to move from zero tolerance to tolerable risk of error. It is very difficult to plan in times of crisis, but if we don't have information on the past use of the funds, it makes it impossible. In the SURE committee and in the budget committee, I have often asked for evaluation of, for example, the European Globalization Fund, which Mrs. Beres has already mentioned. And without referring to Unilever, which is a very bad example of subsidy, very recently, last week, in one country in the European Union, the misappropriation of the funds has been identified. So now we know for sure that, at least in some countries, these funds are not being properly spent. Why should we continue to approve funding to the companies who are closing and laying off personnel if we don't have the measure of how they are using the funds? In reference to the UK, I would like to say that the UK itself is not happy about how the European funds are spent in its own country. Because even if we talk about a general declaration or a declaration by the governments, we need to understand that most of the funding goes to the regional authorities or to regional bodies. So the central government is in no position to evaluate how these funds are being spent. But I can tell you that I have followed a number of these, at least, structural funds projects, and I have found a number of irregularities. But more than the irregularities, I have found that the bodies to which the funds are entrusted do not meet the minimum requirements to be able to manage those funds. So I think we have a lot of work to do. And I have seen that our colleagues on the budget and SURE committees and economic and social and fisheries have put the burden on the budgetary control committee. And I hope that the budgetary control makes this a point in the process of discharge. Thank you.